Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Archana Solanki. Here are the headlines we're tracking this evening. Sensex gains over 900 points and the Nifty gains over 200 points as bulls regain the momentum on Dalal Street. Nifty Bank ends at record high, posting the biggest single-day gain in 2 months. Prime Minister Modi dismisses match-fixing allegations, says the opposition is looking for excuses. Also rubbishes charges that central investigating agencies are being used against opposition leaders. That's a News 18 exclusive. Nestle India CEO Suresh Narayanan responds to the controversy on added sugar in baby food products, says the company is compliant with the law of the land, claims added sugar has been reduced by 30% over the last 2 years and the company is testing zero sugar variants for infant food in India. Supreme Court issues notice to the union government after Association of Doctors. Hospitals move court against the power of the centre to fix standard rates for private hospitals. The court observes that rate fixation will lead to underhanded practices, adds that rates are a function of market forces. Advent International inks a deal to acquire over 12% stake in Apollo 24/7 for 2,475 crore rupees. The deal comes at a discount to expected valuations, though the management guided for a health margin improvement by FY 2027. Apollo Hospital stock tanks 5% in trade. After dealing his India visit, Elon Musk arrives in Beijing for a surprise visit. Big boost for Tesla as China signals its blessings to roll out driver assistance service. The move could reignite Tesla's sagging growth. Top Hamas leaders head to Cairo for a fresh round of ceasefire talks. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Saudi to push for a truce. Israeli officials scramble after reports suggest Prime Minister Netanyahu and top military commanders could face an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court. JDS MP from Karnataka and the grandson of former Prime Minister H.D. Devegowda, Prajwal Revanna, booked by police in a case of sexual abuse allegedly involving several women. Congress claims BJP was aware of the allegations before it decided to stitch an alliance with the JDS. The BJP dismisses the charge and calls it a pre-planned controversy. Congress's Indore candidate Akshay Kantibam withdraws his nomination weeks ahead of polling, gives the BJP a virtual walkover in the constituency. A tweet by senior BJP leader Kailash Vijayvargiya hinted that Akshay had joined the BJP. Remember, Indore goes to polls in Phase 5 on May 30th. All right, let's start with the market action. The bulls regained the winning momentum on Dalal Street. Sensex gained over 900 points and the Nifty gained over 200 points. With this, both indices have regained all the losses incurred on Friday. Bank stocks led the rally with the Nifty Bank Index hitting a record high. Mid-caps underperformed the blue chips. The mega exclusive Network 18 interview of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi responded to several charges levelled by the opposition parties against the BJP, clarified his stance on various election issues and shared his vision for India if the BJP is voted to power for the third time. Asserting his stance on the inheritance tax controversy, the Prime Minister said that while he was talking about development, the Congress is talking about plundering that inheritance. The Congress does not have any reference to an inheritance tax in its manifesto. However, a comment by Chairperson of Indian Overseas Congress, Sam Pitroda, calling the concept of inheritance tax in the US stoked a controversy. The Prime Minister, during a rally last week, had said that dangerous intentions of the Congress party are now being exposed. The Prime Minister also slammed the Congress's caste census promise and Rahul Gandhi, calling it an X-ray of India. Modi said that X-ray means raiding every household. The Prime Minister also rubbished allegations that central agencies were being misused against the opposition parties to win elections. He said election cannot be fixed even for a municipality in India. He said the Congress would have won the 2014 general elections if elections were won with the help of agencies and EVMs. The Prime Minister also said that he wanted the energy sector to become self-reliant. You can watch the entire interview at 9 p.m. tonight. Here's an excerpt of that interview.
आप देखिए साहब, अब उनके एक महाशय ने अमेरिका में इंटरव्यू दे दिया
जी इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स पर,
तो इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स की बात ले आए। 55% टैक्स आपकी प्रॉपर्टी। अब मैं विकास और विरासत की बात कर रहा हूँ, ये विरासत को लूटने की बात करते हैं। तो मैं और वेल्थ रिडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की बात करते हैं। और उनके आज तक का इतिहास है, वो करेंगे क्या? तो फिर मेरी जिम्मेवारी, मेरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि मैं देशवासियों को बताऊं कि भाई ये इस दिशा में ले जा रहे हैं। अब आप तय कीजिए, जाना न जाना जनता जनार्दन का हक है, लेकिन मेरा दायित्व बनता है कि तथ्य के आधार पर, तर्क के आधार पर, उनकी हकीकतों के आधार पर मुझे बताना चाहिए, वो मैं बता रहा हूँ।
सैम पिट्रोडा जी ने जो है इनहेरिटेंस टैक्स की बात की, जो हम लोगों की जमा पूंजी है, जब हम अपने लोग पूरा बचाते हैं अपने फैमिली के लिए, जब हम उसको अपने आने वाली जनरेशन को देंगे तो उस पर भी टैक्स लगेगा, और ये टैक्स बहुत बड़ा टैक्स हो सकता है। तो क्या आप कहेंगे कि बीजेपी अगर आएगी तो इस टैक्स को कभी नहीं लागू करेगी?
भारतीय जनता पार्टी क्या करेगी, हमारे मैनिफेस्टो में साफ हमने लिख करके लाए हुए। अब उन्होंने कहीं सगुफा छोड़ दिया तो मैं भी वो झंडा लेके घूमूंगा, ये सवाल आपके मन में कैसे आ जाता है? जी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की विचारधारा साफ है जी। हम अपनी विचारधारा के आधार पर कार्यक्रमों को लेकर के, मैनिफेस्टो को लेकर के देश के सामने जाते हैं। कृपा करके ऐसे महाशयों के विचारों को हम पर मत थोपिए भाई।
मोदी जी, राहुल गांधी ने एक बात और कही है, वो कहते हैं कि जब वो सरकार अगर उनकी आएगी तो वो एक नेशनल एक्सरे कराएंगे। इसी से जुड़ा सवाल है, इसीलिए मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, एक नेशनल एक्सरे कराएंगे। बात सिर्फ कास्ट सेंसस की नहीं है जो कि वो करते आए हैं, उस पर भी मैं आपका मत जानना चाहूँगा, मगर बात वो कहते हैं इससे आगे है, बात कास्ट की नहीं, बात जस्टिस की है। और वो कहते हैं कि हम जो है एक सोशियो इकोनॉमिक सर्वे लाएंगे, एक इंस्टीट्यूशनल सर्वे लाएंगे, और उसमें देखेंगे कि किसके पास किस जाति और किस उस वर्ग के पास क्या है, कितना धन है, कितनी इंस्टीट्यूशंस में भागीदारी है, और उसके बेसिस पर हम इस पूरे सिस्टम को रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे। इसको आप कैसे देखते हैं?
सबसे पहले तो इस देश में जो लोग अपने आप को राजनीति के एक्सपर्ट मानते हैं, जो लोग देश के उतार चढ़ाव को बड़ी बारीकी से अध्ययन करते हैं, सबसे पहले उनका दायित्व है कि वो ऐसे लोगों को पूछे कि जिस परिस्थितियों का वर्णन आप कर रहे हो, अगर ये सही है तो 50, 60, 65 साल तो आपने राज किया भाई। ये मुसीबत के जो जन्मदाता आप हो, और आपने अब तक की बर्बादी लाई क्यों? पहले उनका जवाब मांगो भाई, नंबर 1। नंबर 2, एक्सरे का मतलब क्या है जी? मतलब हर परिवार में जाना, घर घर छापा मारना, अगर किसी अनाज के डिब्बे में किसी महिला ने अपने गहने छपा के रखे हैं, उसको भी एक्सरे किया जाएगा, उनके गहने ले लिए जाएंगे, जमीनों का हिसाब किताब किया जाएगा, और फिर उसको रिडिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे। ये दुनिया में एक माओवादी विचार ने सब किया हुआ है, दुनिया बर्बाद हो चुकी है। ये पूरी तरह अर्बन नक्सल उस सोच का सीधा सीधा प्रकटीकरण है, और इसलिए मैनिफेस्टो आने के 10 दिन तक बाद भी ये जो जमात आए दिन लिखापट्टी करती है ना, वो चुप रही, उनके प्रोटेक्शन में चुप रही है। तब मिलके मेरी जिम्मेवारी बन जाती है कि देश को जगाना कि भाई देखिए आपको लूटने की ये तरकीब हो रही है। और दूसरा पार्ट है, डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी वगैरह, उन्होंने हर बार कहा है कि भाई जो भी संपत्ति होगी इस पर पहला अधिकार किसका होगा। तो हिसाब किताब बहुत साफ है, वो क्या करना चाहते हैं।
ऑपोजिशन की सारी पार्टीज, राहुल गांधी, कांग्रेस, सब ये कहते हैं कि मोदी जी ये जो है मैच फिक्सिंग कर रहे हैं इस चुनाव पर। उन्होंने कहा है कि ईडी, सीबीआई और ईवीएम के बिना आप चुनाव नहीं जीत सकते। क्या कहेंगे आप?
ईवीएम का जवाब तो देश की सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दे दिया है, और 2014 में इनके पास ईडी थी, इनके पास सीबीआई थी, तो हार क्यों गए भाई? मेरे होम मिनिस्टर तक को जेल में डाल दिया था, तो हार क्यों तो गए वो? अगर ईडी सीबीआई से चुनाव जीते जाते तो ईडी सीबीआई का काम तो इतने सालों तक कांग्रेस ने किया है, वो जीत जाते हैं जी। और इतना बड़ा देश, एक म्यूनसिपैलिटी का चुनाव फिक्स नहीं कर सकते हो भाई? जरा करके देखो, ये संभव होता है क्या फिक्सिंग? क्या दुनिया को मूर्ख बना। लेकिन दुख इस बात का है कि ऐसी बातें करने वालों को आप मीडिया के लोग उनको पूछने के बजाय हमको पूछते हो।
मोदी जी थोड़ा सा
लेकिन इसमें एक बात चौकस है,
जी
मैं मानता हूं पिछले कई दिनों से इंडिया अलायंस के लोग इतने निराश हो चुके हैं कि अभी उनको बहाने ढूंढना बहुत जरूरी बन गया है, क्योंकि पराजय के बाद भी लोगों के सामने जाने के लिए उनको इसलिए मैं समझता हूँ शायद वो अभी से ये सारे तर्क ढूंढ रहे हैं कि पराजय के तर्क क्या होंगे, शायद उसी की उनकी इंटरनल एक्सरसाइज है ये।
You can tune in to the entire conversation with the Prime Minister at 9 p.m. tonight on CNBC TV 18 and Network 18 channels. The big news maker this evening, Nestle India's CEO Suresh Narayanan has responded to the controversy on added sugar in baby food products. Speaking to Mangalam Malu, he added that the company is compliant with the law of the land. He also claimed that added sugar has been reduced by 30% over the last 2 years and the company is testing zero sugar variants for infant food in India.
I think there has been no formal communication, but I think we enjoy a very professional and a very cordial relationship with FSSAI. They have indicated to us that they would like to pick samples of some of our products. Indeed, this is being picked up across manufacturers. So we wish to clarify that this is not just Nestle. There are different manufacturers. Their products will be picked up for analysis, whatever analysis that FSSAI chooses to do, and we respect that. And incidentally, infant formula, there is no question of any, there is no added sugar there at all. So therefore, the brand that comes into context is baby food, which is Cerelac. And I think one of the other things that to the best of our knowledge, and being a nutrition company, we should know it, is that there is no test for added sugar. Total sugars, there is a test, but added sugar, there is really no test. So it will depend on how the FSSAI would wish to evolve and wish to take this forward. But we are transparent, we are open. There is no question of any kind of obfuscation. Whatever they need to see, we will show them. Whatever they need to know, we will get to their knowledge. Because we have really nothing to hide as far as this unfortunate incident is concerned.
Absolutely, we take that point. But, you know, this incident came to light because of Public Eye's report. And the thesis of that report was the divergence in the presence of sugar across countries. So, for instance, UK and Germany had zero sugar. Some countries had more than India. India was somewhere in the middle. So, why exactly has there been this divergence? What explains this between two geographies?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, Mangalam, and I would indulge your time a bit because you know that I like to answer questions fully and not just give a tentative answer. Every formulation has got a nutrition profile. And this is globally determined, Mangalam. This is not something that I can decide in India, that this is what I want to do. This is globally determined. Fundamentally, it gives you the level of protein, the level of fat, the level of vitamin and minerals, and the level of carbohydrates that each serve of the product should contain for children below 18 months. Now, remember that this is a growing category where they need energy-dense foods. Now, typically, proteins, infants need between 10 and 15% of total energy from proteins. Now, proteins in our recipe of Cerelac is about 15%, which gives 15% of the total energy. If you look at fats, infants need between 20 and 30% of total energy coming from fats. Cerelac has 9.4% of fat, which translates into 20% of total energy. Vitamins and minerals, we add 10 vitamins and 4 minerals, which are essential for the growth of the infant. Carbohydrates, infants need between 50 and 70% of total energy from carbohydrates. Nestle Cerelac provides 68%. Talking of carbohydrates, carbohydrates come from sugars. And sugars are of two kinds, total sugars, and in total sugars, there is a subcomponent of added sugars. Naturally occurring sugars come from milk, from cereal. So, for example, lactose, glucose, fructose from fruit purees and fruit juices. And there is an added component of sugar called added sugar. In the case of India, the FSSAI rules, which also follows global standards, indicates that you can add sucrose if it meets up to 20% of the requirement of carbohydrates, which translates on a per feed basis to 13.6 grams per 100 grams of feed. Against that, Nestle has got 7.1, which is fundamentally about 50% of the amount of added sugar. Now,
Right.
This added sugar, we have reduced it by 30% over the last 5 years. Two more points. Point number two, there are products in Europe and products in Asia which have both no added sugar and added sugar. The efficacy of the recipe based on local regulatory conditions and based on local habits determines the quantum of sugar that the product contains.
Moving on, Tesla CEO Elon Musk made a surprise visit to China over the weekend after postponing his India trip. In a big win for Musk, reports said that Tesla was able to secure regulatory clearances for rolling out locally made self-driving cars. Reports also suggest that he was able to ink a deal with Baidu to use its mapping license for data collection on China's public roads. This comes as a shot in the arm for the automaker, whose sales have been dwindling in its second largest market. Parikshit Luthra is here with the latest. Parikshit, take us through the highlights of Elon Musk's China trip.
For the past few months, Tesla stock has been taking a beating due to slowdown in sales in China and also slowdown in production in China. Remember, Tesla operates its biggest factory outside the United States in Shanghai. So slowdown in production there, slowdown in Chinese markets, and Chinese companies like BYD surpassing Tesla in sales is not good news for the Tesla stock. That is why this visit was very important. He had gone there to seek clearances for fully self-driving autonomous vehicles. And according to reports, he's believed to have been given that clearance. Tesla, according to reports during this visit, signed an agreement with Chinese tech company Baidu to transfer data collected from Chinese roads to servers abroad. Now, this was a very important moment and a very important development for the company to develop algorithms and make its self-driving software even better. In fact, Wedbush Securities has said that this was a home run for Musk, and securing such approvals was very important for Tesla's long-term success. He spent several hours in China and met the number two in the Chinese leadership, Chinese Premier Li Qiang, and he said that he was honored to meet the Chinese Premier and he sought a win-win cooperation between US and China. The Chinese side seems to have welcomed him rather warmly, and they said that the Chinese government, the Chinese ecosystem remains open to US investors and global companies wanting to invest and make in China. So on the whole, it has been seen as a big success. We're looking at the contours right now, but the focus of this visit was fully self-driving vehicles. And this is something that in a recent conference call with analysts, Musk had said that the future is electric and autonomous.
Right, thank you, Parikshit, for that update. On that note, it's time for a short break, but coming up next, Supreme Court issues notice to the union government after associations of doctors, hospitals move court against the power of the centre to fix standard rates for private hospitals. Details when we return. Welcome back. Advent International has struck a deal to acquire over 12% stake in Apollo 24/7 for 2,475 crore rupees. The deal comes at a discount to expected valuations. The pharma giant will also merge its wholesale pharma distributor Keimed Private over the next 24 to 30 months. Shares of Apollo Hospitals tanked 5% in trade. Apollo Hospitals Managing Director Sunita Reddy said that this deal will form India's largest omni-channel player and will further strengthen its balance sheet.
We now will have a very strong balance sheet, which will enable the growth of Apollo HealthCo. And if you look at the entire transaction, it will create India's largest omni-channel pharmacy play. Added to that, of course, is the benefits that will now come from the digital network that we have created, which has multiple revenue streams. So we are enabling growth, we are funding growth, and we have a strong balance sheet. It could be at a 20% discount to market expectations, but I think having cash in hand and a strong balance sheet far outweighs that.
The Supreme Court has issued a notice to the Union Government after associations of doctors, hospitals move court against the power of the centre to fix standard rates for private hospitals. The top court has observed that rate fixation will lead to underhanded practices and added that rates are a function of market forces. Ashmit Kumar joins us with the details. Ashmit, take us through the top court's observations.
Well, the Supreme Court being called in to do a balancing act here. The question being asked is that does the centre have the power to prescribe rates that can be charged by private hospitals? At the heart of this issue is Rule 9. Rule 9 of the Clinical Establishment Rules very clearly says that the centre, in consultation with states, will prescribe a band of rates which is to be followed by private hospitals. Now, this is what sparked concern across the medical fraternity. Today, we saw the response of the medical fraternity. A whole host of applications being filed by associations of doctors and hospitals batting against the fixation of rates. What they've argued before the top court of the country is, number one, they've challenged the power of the centre under Rule 9, saying that the centre has no such power. There is no legal validity to Rule 9. Further, the doctors and hospitals have gone on to argue that they invite more regulation, but you cannot have a one-size-fits-all approach. There are market forces which decides the rates which are to be charged, and also arguing that if India wants to host the leading-edge, cutting-edge medical technology, then it requires investors, but any such move to fix rates will deter investors, will deter return on investments. Now, what's interesting is the chord that the Apex Court struck today. The Supreme Court noted, in fact, questioned the centre and its power to fix rates, going on to say that rates are decided by market forces, that doctors are free to charge if they want to charge 100 rupees for a treatment or even 10,000 rupees. And also importantly noting that if such tactics are deployed, if rates are fixed, it could also lead to underhanded tactics being deployed by hospitals. Now, on the back of all of this, we understand that the Apex Court has issued notice to the centre, has asked the centre to come back with its response on the concerns being expressed by the medical fraternity, and importantly, has listed this case for further hearing on September 10th.
Thank you, Ashmit, for that update. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. News and updates continue right here on CNBC TV 18.